Hey, what's going on, guys? Shane here, Vince The Anomaly, and today we're going to be looking at the last part of the MMA Grappling Trinity, how to get from submission to a better position. So walk us through that, Vince.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when we're on the ground, we think when we're going for that submission, we need to commit 100% to finish the guy right there.
Yeah.
But instead, you can use your submissions and chain them into sweeps, reversals, into moving into better positions. So let's take a look. For our first move, we're going to be going for the armbar position from the guard. So I've isolated Shane's arm, cut this angle, boom. I'm trying to finish this armbar, but this guy's doing a really good job of just stacking me, stalling me out. I know it's not going to work. So MMA Grappling Trinity, we're going to be going from our submission to position here. I'm going for this armbar submission. I'm going to reach down and go for a pendulum or flower sweep. I'm going to hook this bottom leg. I'm going to open up my leg here, and I'm going to use that momentum to kick and swing so that I can reverse Shane here, sweep him, get onto the top, mount position. Next, we're going to be working from our rear naked choke submission, and we're going to be moving to the mount. Okay, so I'm going for the submission, and this guy's doing a really good job of defending. We've talked about it before. You know, it's kind of hard to get all the way in and through, especially with these big MMA gloves. Makes it easier for Shane to grab and peel my hands off. So let's say I've gone here and I just can't sink in this rear naked choke. I know it's not going to happen. Or maybe it's like towards the end of the round and I need to make something happen. If this choke isn't going to work, I'm going to bring this leg over and I'm going to block Shane's hip. Okay, by doing that, it allows me to get up and mount on top of Shane here. And from here I can start raining down some strikes. But the main thing is we went from that submission, that rear naked choke, and we got to a different position, which is the mount. And from here I can be working whatever else I want to do. All right, so I've worked this guillotine from the front headlock position. I've got my knee, my foot in across Shane's hip. I throw this leg over and I'm trying to crank. I just can't get this guillotine locked up. All right, so our options again is to go from submission to a new position. I have a few different ones to go for from here. What I like to do is open Shane up by kicking him over, getting Shane onto his side. Now this is an entirely different position that even chains into a new submission from here if we want to go for that. But let's not focus on that one right now. Let's just get Shane back to this position where we're in our submission on the guillotine. I'm going to kick Shane over, and he's not falling over this time. So I'm going to move my hips back and come right back into the front headlock. And from there, in that front headlock position, we've gone over it before. We got you locked up for the darce. We can move around and take your back. We can go for the guillotine again. But remember, guys, once you get stuck in a position where you're trying to submit the guy and it's not working, do something else. Move it back to a different position. The next move we'll be working on here is the darce from half guard and using that to transition to a different position. So oftentimes, guys, you're going to get here in this half guard battle where we're battling for this underhook. Let's say Shane's got it. He's gotten underneath me. He's starting to post up and he wants to get his knees to the ground and start working his whole game. I want to negate that, and this time I'm going to negate that by using a submission, or at least a submission attempt here. So as soon as I feel like Shane's starting to come up, he's got that underhook, I'm going to drive, and with my overhook, I'm going to dive it through. Okay, at the same time, I'm getting my hands together, gable grip, and I'm pinching this elbow in nice and tight so I can crank Shane's neck. Now, if Shane's a little more experienced, he knows what's coming next, because I'm going to pull him down, I'm going to pull him in, and I'm going to get to that darce position. So from here, when I'm going for this darce, this submission, Shane's going to start to open up and defend. As he does that, guys, what I like to do, if you can see my right knee here, is pop my knee up and just get it right over his leg. And as Shane still continues to open, I just slide over, and I've got my pass here in the side control. So basically what happened is Shane got that underhook, and I started to kill that underhook by threatening my darce submission. So going from that submission first. As he defends that darce, he starts to open up. I get my knee up, over, boom. Now I'm into a new position. So submission to position, darce to side control. Now for our last move today, we're going to be going for our Omoplata submission from the bottom. So from my guard, I'm going to be going for it on Shane. But now, when we're thinking of MMA Grappling Trinity, maybe sometimes we're keeping it in the whole grappling realm. Let's say this time I'm trying to get to an entirely new position. So I'm not going to keep it on a position in the ground. I want to get to a standing position. So I'm going to use my Omoplata, go for that submission, and I'm going to work to get to a new position, which will be standing. So from here, I've got Shane down. I'm kind of isolated this arm. I'm swimming my leg over. So right here, I'm setting up that Omoplata, right? Ideally, if I'm finishing the submission, I'm getting up, I'm blocking his hips, I'm scooting my legs around and finishing. But once we get right here, guys, almost every single time this leg comes over, my opponent knows, oh, Omoplata. What am I going to do to defend? He's going to roll. So Shane, let's have you roll. And now he's out of it. But instead of just sitting here and letting that happen, I'm going to get this Omoplata and let Shane go. I'm going to stand up at the same time. All right, so now what we've done is use that submission to make him roll and stand up all the way. We do it all the time at Fight Nights with my coach Ian Harris. But think of that too, guys. When you're using this MMA Grappling Trinity, maybe if you're a striker, you want to keep the fight standing or at least get the fight standing. You can use submissions, positions, striking, whatever it is, to open up an area to just get out of there.
The MMA Trinity. All right, guys, there you have it, the MMA Grappling Trinity. So now you understand the concept of using your striking, your submissions, your positions. Now you can start to incorporate all the different techniques that you're learning. So as you train, as you get better, as you learn new moves, apply those moves from your arsenal into the MMA Grappling Trinity and see what you come up with. So go back, watch the other previous videos, watch this video again, and then incorporate it into your training. Until next time, I'm Shane.
Vince The Anomaly.
Fight tips for the underdogs.